No, but we stepped out of the boat about 9 weeks ago, and to walk on the water with Jesus, not really knowing, everything about House Church, but we've done traditional church for about 22 years, and Nigel and I have been in leadership with Marilyn. This is our mother in the faith, Marilyn, so we're so really pleased to have Marilyn here tonight, and Nigel and I have worked with Marilyn for 20 years and done traditional church for 22 years, and then several months ago the Lord really started to challenge us about House Church, and Marilyn, I'm sure Ma will share with us her heart about, I'd like you to, Ma, about the villages. And I put her on the spot now. Marilyn's challenged us for many, many years that there's
150 villages in Wales, and many of them now don't have a Christian witness. So I'm encouraging Christian leaders to reach out to the villages that are untouched and tell the wonderful story of Jesus.
Thanks, Ma. Ma's been an Elim minister for many years, and she's been our mother. We prayed for a father, and we got a mother. and she's been an amazing mother to us, but she's challenged us for many years about the villages in Wales, particularly in Wales. Ma, you've really got Wales. Marilyn travels internationally, but she's really got Wales on her heart, and she's been saying, who's going to reach the villages? Who's going to do it? And Marilyn would say 2,150 villages, and our minds, Nigel and I, would just go tilt. We'd think, Marilyn, we've got a job to even pray for St. Bride's Went Blue, and you're talking about 2,150 villages. We thought, Lord, how on earth could we do this? And then a couple of months ago, as some of you know, we were in leadership together in a church in Newport, and we decided, and it was quite a courageous thing, we decided to close it down and to start House Church and to start from scratch. And the Lord laid a few people on our hearts, Mike and Karen being two of them, and we hardly knew Mike and Karen. All we knew that Mike was the coach, the football coach, and a businessman in Marshfield, just up the road. And we'd had very loose contact, just through email, Mike, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And but the Lord laid them on our hearts, and we just said, well, we'll just send an email, and we'll just put the fleece out and see what happens. And Mike and Karen emailed back and said that they would come to House Church and just have a look, just see what we were up to. And we just explained we don't really know what we're up to completely, but we love Jesus and we just want to reach out to people. Eric and Sono as well, the Lord had brought Eric and Sono to us when we were back in traditional church. They walked in one Sunday, and it was a real answer of prayer, actually. The Wednesday prior in the prayer meeting, the Lord spoke and said that he was going to bring somebody, a couple, that Sunday, and they were just going to walk through the door, and Eric and Sonna walked in, and we just thank the Lord for these wonderful pair. They're amazing. And so that was that. And then another couple, Derek and Ira, they came to have a look as well, and we met with them and just explained House Church. And Tony, we met at the wedding. We had a wedding on our farm, and we met Tony. And the minute we met Tony, we just really loved him. We just he started to talk to us. We said about House Church, and actually Tony pushed us into starting, because he rang us up and said, when you're going to get going? And Nigel and I were in the garden at the time strategizing, and Tony said, look, I'm waiting to come. So we got Tony to thank the Lord for, because he really pushed us, and we said, well, we better start. Marilyn's always encouraged us, don't wait, just get on with it, and so Tony pushed us into it really nice, didn't he? Yeah. So that was really wonderful. And also Peter and Ingrid, they don't know this, but the Lord had really laid them on our hearts as well. And so Peter and Ingrid are here for the first time tonight, and we're so thrilled to see you. Yeah. And also our special friends, Deb and Andrew. We just love this pair. We go back a long way. 20 years working with Marilyn in the tent missions, and we've been all over together. Marilyn has a 500-seater marquee tent. She's a wild woman for Jesus, Marilyn, and she just puts a tent up, or some of the guys put the tent up and preaches the gospel, and we've travelled all over with Ma. And Deb and Andrew, we were just like brothers and sisters, really just love them. So they've travelled all the way from Luton.
Yeah.
They're on their way home from a break,
Yeah.
from a bit of a sabbatical, so they're on the way back. So
Yeah.
we really thank you for coming tonight.
it's
You're
a
really our special friends. And Lee, thank you, Lee, for coming. Lee is working with Marilyn. She does some secretarial and jack of all trades, Lee, in the gospel. And Wendy, the Lord had laid Wendy on our hearts as well. Now Wendy is John's sister, and John is living with us in the stables, and John's a policeman. And we're trying to win him for the Lord, and we went.
It's working. So it's like I said to him last week, you think this is subtle, but literally you are being knocked off your feet and you're still not answering.
John's he's a chief of police, and since he came here we've been praying for him, you know, and he's this week I said, John, you've got to come to house church because the guys are real men, they're not mamsy-pamsy. And he was laughing, you know. I said, you know, these are real guys, John, it's not all women. You know, and he was like, wow, yeah. He said, oh, you're really ganging up on me, you women. I said, we are.
It's strange though, because I've been praying for him for the last 15 years, and then he comes in, you start praying for him, through you, other people start praying for him.
Amazing.
Brilliant. The Lord's closing in on him. Yes, so thanks to everybody. I haven't missed anybody out now. They're baby Cindy. We love baby Cindy. We've known baby Cindy since she was in Mum's womb. And she's a real blessing. And we had Sonu's mum, Penny, a couple of weeks ago in house church, and that was really special. She came in all her Ghanaian costume, and Sonu's sister was absolutely delicious. She was absolutely gorgeous, 12 years old, and Penny has invited us all to Ghana. She said, you must come to Ghana, so it's really lovely. So thanks folks for coming. But like I said, we started house church 9 weeks ago, and it was scary because we walked, you know, stepped out of the boat, and we didn't know what it would mean. And we're not just believing God for one house church, we believe in God for multiple house churches, and we're actually believing God that out of here will come a movement to reach our towns and villages. And I don't want to say that in a big-headed way, but Jesus is a big Jesus, God is a big God, and there's a big harvest out there. And I was reading this week where Jesus said, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for the fields are white unto harvest. And he said, don't wait, don't say 4 months and then the harvest. Look now, the harvest is ready. And so we believe in God that this is the start from Teacock Farm. A couple of months ago we sat with Andre in this very room. We took communion and we said, Lord, as the disciples gave you their boat, we give you Teacock Farm, and we ask you to fill it. We ask you to fill it. We ask you to crowd this house, and out of this house will come a movement that will touch the towns and villages nearby. We've got 13 villages just in our locality. 13 villages. Whereas before we would get in the car and drive into the centre of Newport and really not sort of take any notice on our way, and we'd be praying for the meeting. But now the Lord has opened our eyes, and I just need to see the harvest in our villages. And you know, when I'm driving now, I'm praying for Peterston, praying for Marshfield, St.